Hello, how are you doing? This is Finley Base. I'm here to let you know what Bitcoin does and how it works. Bitcoin is a digital ledger released by Satoshi Nakamoto in 2009 after the financial crisis. So we don't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is. It is a person or a group of people or a government of somebody in this world. They don't know who it is. But it has been released. And it is very popular. It got its start back in the day with Silk Road, where you can go on there and buy a bunch of illegal stuff. Drugs, guns, get somebody killed. It was a rough world back then, but they got that guy who started Silk Road and put him in jail, and they got a bunch of other people too. So once that happened, and then they started, using Bitcoin, and the more they use it, then the more it's worse. So they started thinking about other stuff, legal stuff. They just are trying to replace the world currency, actually. And I don't know if it was started that way, what they would do in the future or what. But in 2009, it's basically 10 years, 11 years, and it's about to take over the world. We have gotten a lot of stimulus packages and inflation, and I think they're going to do it again, inflation in America and all the world, because the world is pretty much broke right now from the crisis. And I don't know if it was made to do something like this. It just really seems weird that all this is happening just now. And a cryptocurrency that was built in 2009 is about to take over the world. So it is kind of crazy. But anyways, so we got Bitcoin is a digital ledger, basically. It stores every time you spend money. It's on a public ledger, not controlled by one person in the world, one government. It's a decentralized network. So basically, to make a transaction go through, you have to do a transaction. That transaction goes to these computers all over the world. They're miners. That's what the miners do. They basically prove that your transaction is not a scam. So if all those computers all over the world say it's not a scam, then your transaction's going through. If this does say it's a scam, you'll get denied. So basically, the Bitcoin network has never been hacked. So basically, ever since it started, you have to have that password or that transaction, and they stack end to end. So basically, let's say you want to hack it, you got to have the first transaction all the way to the current transaction. And these are been hashed. So basically, cryptographically hashed. So basically, that means they puts out numbers and symbols to tell the computer what it needs to know. It is a good thing because of what happened like in 2009 when the housing crisis, and they started bailing out people in the country. And this, that possibly could help the future because it's deflationary. That means there's only like 21 million. You can't print more Bitcoin. The way you inflate stuff, you print more of it. So this is deflationary. There's only 21 million. That's all there will be. So the more people that buy it, the more it's worth. So there's a bunch of billionaires and big companies putting a lot of money into it, and it's getting really popular. And even like PayPal has put that on there, and Cash App you can buy there too. I think it's going to take over the world, but nobody really knows. But anyways, the miners, let's do mining pictures so you can see this. That's miners. It's not people that mine in the ground. It's actually computers. These are like each one of those little things in the racks are a computer, like basically like a graphics system running out numbers. And those computers basically do hash codes, and they solve them. And when it solves it, they get a percentage of that Bitcoin. So that helps pay for electricity and stuff. But so the miners, so the only way basically to hack the system, the Bitcoin system anyways, is you need to have 51% of control of the hash power. That means they could basically double spend the money, and if you double spend it, basically they're getting free money. You wouldn't think out of those computers all over the world they could hack them. And China actually owns 66% of all computers around the world that are hooked up to the Bitcoin network. According to a report by digital asset manager at CoinShares, that power is known as the hash rate, and it dictates a computer ability to produce new coins. So I think it's actually only 4 companies basically have 51% control in China, and they're all by separate people. But a lot of other cryptocurrencies are saying that the government might have a problem with that, because China is a communist government. They could just take over those companies and basically steal money out of it. So I really don't know if that's going to happen, but that's what a lot of people saying. The other thing is the miners, that big warehouse for these computers uses so much electricity. They're currently, the tool estimate that Bitcoin is using around 7 gigawatts of electricity, equal to 0.21% of the world's supply. That is how much power as it would be generated by 7 Dungeness nuclear power plants at once. Over the course of a year, this equates to roughly the same power consumption as Switzerland. So that's another problem. There's a lot of companies like XRP's one of them. It's not a proof of work coin, it's a proof of stake, and that's a whole nother video. But that one hardly uses that much power because it's pre-mined. So that's a big discussion. We have to go back and forth when you're discussing this. Bitcoin right now has popularity, and the popularity contest is hard to from it. But Bitcoin, it can't be shut down because it's a decentralized system. So it actually, it has all those computers, except for the 66% from China, and those are owned by separate companies. But so if they're not taking over, then basically, and but anyways, it's decentralized is basically all those computers control the network. It's not like the government controls it. So basically, it's a decentralized where nobody owns it. So I guess what the government's going to have to do is basically get enough of it to have control over the money in the future. That's what I think is going to happen. And they can't really shut Bitcoin down because, like, if the U.S. shut it down, then China would go all in and Russia would go in. They can go pay people back and forth and not go around with sanctions and stuff like that. So the way America controls the world basically is you can't, you are not take your oil money because you're like doing terror stuff, and that's a whole nother video. So anyways, if America shuts down or China shuts down, well, these other countries are going to use it. So it's a big deal. And it's basically Truth Machines, a book I read about decentralized cryptocurrencies. It's basically, if somebody says they spent this much money, the government says it, and they could hide it. So basically, Bitcoin is saying it's all open network, so everybody can see what's going on. But it's a great book. It's like, I think it's 30 hours or something like that. I don't remember, but I've read it twice. It's a great book, and it's impossible to go over it in one video. So how much will Bitcoin be worth in the future? Well, there's only 21 million of them. So out of those 21 million, 6 million has been lost their passwords, lost all these keys to it, so they'll never be able to spend those. So there's only like 16 million of them, so that makes it worth a lot of money because people are buying it all over the world. There's big billion-dollar companies putting millions of dollars into it, so they're going to control the future. So they're working on it right now. So there's a lot of other cryptocurrencies that I think are going to help in that financial race. So anyways, we can talk about that in the next video. But if you like this video, please subscribe. It really helps out the videos and helps me get more followers. Well, y'all just have a good day.